BaconBit.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Raya.
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 Ruya.
You never guess what we're talking about today. Hi, listener. We have a BaconBit because we have a new movie.
What, a new movie for $30 on streaming?
Well.
Explain, Kent.
So Disney Plus releases $30 premium video on demand releases every couple of months now. Sometimes
this is
they
only
just
the
release
second
them.
one, right?
Yeah. They may
previously
start
Mulan.
doing it more. We'll see. But
Mulan
yeah.
and the Last Dragon.
Yes. Mulan and No Dragon.
Right.
And now we have Ruya and the Last Dragon.
It's spelled Raya, which I would say Raya, but I'm pretty sure the whole movie they said Raya.
Raya.
It irritates me when you have the same vowel
Why not
twice
just
in a
lop
word
off-
and you say it differently.
Why not lop off that first A and just say Rya?
Because then it'd be Ray.
No. Rya.
Raya.
Raya.
Ryu? Hadouken!
That would be pronounceable.
So Joel and I watched the entire movie.
And
Just barely.
I watched 45 minutes of the end.
Yeah. So you came over a
Now,
little bit
why
later.
is that? Why is that? Let's explain this.
Yeah, so I got the screening link, and it's one of these things where I'm not supposed to let anyone borrow the link or copy it or whatever. So much that my name is printed on that my typeface
Literally
is over the entire movie.
Like there was a watermark in like the just below center middle of the screen,
blocking everything.
and it was like kind of translucent.
Sure.
I forgot it was there sometimes.
You
Then-
did?
Well,
I did.
Yeah, but then there would be this awkward scene where like all of a sudden the characters would be crouching down and they'd be like behind your name, or like when
and it's also bad when it
characters
says
are circling.
this
it.
is they go to this place called Spine and it goes Spine and it goes Spine. Kent done.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, but anyway, so these guys came over to my place. Zach was working a little bit late, so he still came over
the
and
end of
got
it.
the gist of it, I would say.
We caught him up.
Yeah.
And
We acted it out, actually.
Yeah, we did. We paused the movie and reenacted
The
whole
hand
thing.
puppets were helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I made them. I hand sewn them.
That's great.
But we are going to. I want to mention we are going to be spoiler free for
Yes.
this first part of the review. We're not going to give anything away about this movie. Then we will get into a spoiler full area, and we will clearly let you know when that is going to happen, so you can pause this if you haven't seen Raya and the Last Dragon yet.
So let me give what this movie is about based on the IMDb description. In a realm known as Kumandra, a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization, a warrior named Raya is determined to find the Last Dragon. You are the Last Dragon.
Sure enough.
Is the Last Dragon the only barber left that gives undercuts? Because that's what like everybody in that one society they all have like bad modern haircuts.
Zach, you got to wait till they see the movie to get the joke.
I'm just saying. They even make an undercut joke in there.
Barber jokes.
So, I mean, this is a Disney animated movie that is released on premium, which means if you want to watch this right now as they airing this BaconBit, it's going to cost you $30.
Or you can go to the theater and see it. Limited
it's-
theater
you-
release, yes.
Oh, okay.
Which will also cost you $30.
Yeah.
Well, will it for one
Well, it
person?
depends on how many.
Well, if you bring your kids.
Yeah.
Well, if you two
be a
people,
discount.
right? You're looking at like,
Why would you see this by yourself? Like,
I see lots of
We'll get
movies.
into
Maybe
the
like
review.
dragons.
I see lots of movies by myself. Kent Dunn.
Hey, no, that's fine.
It's been so
you don't have
long
to call me
since
by
we-
my full name just because you saw it for 45 minutes.
on the screen. It's been
Kent
so long since we did a review.
Raya done.
So, and this stars. Oh, I just blanked on her name.
Rose
Kelly
Tico.
Marie Tran.
No. Rose Tico was a terrible character. Kelly Marie Tran is an actress who I was willing to give another chance.
Yeah.
She was good.
So was Disney, apparently.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Aquafina.
Which you think
Nora
do you think
Jones
this
or
was
whatever her
Disney
name is.
being like, Kelly Marie Tran, you did such a good job in Star Wars. We're going to give you another role, or do you think it was sorry about Star Wars? Sorry, we just made you into a terrible character and then kind of erased you completely. Here's another movie. Don't.
I think
Yeah.
it's a big part of that.
I think it was an apology.
So much where there's like John Boyega will probably get his own Disney movie pretty soon because of the disservice they did to Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also starring Aquafina,
Yep.
which if she would just go by her name of Nora Lum, I would be so happy.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Because I can't take her, and I know she's a comedian, but I can't take her seriously as Aquafina.
Aquafina the water dragon, as you said.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah,
It just made the
Joel brought this
connection.
up because all of a sudden this dragon, and there's a big water theme in the movie. No spoilers there.
No.
And you see the dragon in the trailer as well.
Yes. And it's Joel's like, oh, Aquafina, water. Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Funny.
Music by James Newton Howard, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, wow. He's done better.
And it also stars Gemma. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I call her Gemma Chan.
And the holograms?
Gemma Chan, Daniel Day Kim, Sandra Oh, Benedict Wong, Alan Tudyk is in
Yes.
this as well.
What is he? Like
Appa.
one of Yep.
Yeah, Tuk Tuk.
Tuk Tuk, that's his name. So I've forgotten. How do we do these reviews? It's been so long.
We
Kent.
take turns. And
What is your first? Since
Joe-
you saw it first.
yeah, I've seen it twice now because I watched this with my kids.
Kent, give us your spoiler-free thoughts.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Yes.
So Robo and the Last Dragon.
That wasn't
whatever
even
this movie.
trying to say it.
I really wasn't. So this movie is kind of like a new direction for Disney. There's no musical numbers here at all. They're trying to go off remember the color palette of Moana was just like fascinating, like very bright, right? And so they're going with every different part of the world here for Raya and the Last Dragon. And it's
dim and overcasty and
yeah, for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But there's some cool contrasting colors and everything. The animation is great.
yeah.
It looks wonderful. Zach, I know you brought up some of the way it seems like it was shot as well.
They've been trying some tricky camera stuff. So they've been basically putting in elements in their movies. I think Toy Story 4 probably does this best, and also WALL-E, where the animation is meant to emulate what a camera does, flaws and all. And they actually shot it, and this is super nerdy.
I mean, for example, in WALL-E,
Yeah.
there's a scene where the camera moves over real quick with the shopping carts, and for a second gets out of focus.
Yes, yeah, and WALL-E actually is my favorite animated movie from a visual standpoint for stuff,
Really?
stuff
Okay.
like that. Just because it looks like a real camera, and they went to great lengths to make it do that. This movie, and it looks, I mentioned it while we were watching it. It actually looks like they wanted to make it like they were shooting it with really long zoom lenses.
Right.
So it really, what that does is that focuses in on the character, but it makes it feel like the camera's far away.
Okay.
And so that just did really interesting things to the background, made the backgrounds very blurry, which is desirable in photography and videography. But it gave it a unique look that most animated movies are drawn in a way that it makes it feel like the camera's very close.
Okay.
So I just thought it was creative and different.
It did look very different compared to most of their other movies. Another unique part, and this is something they hyped quite a bit, is the choreography with the fighting. Because this is a very action-packed movie. It's it's a road trip movie, basically. It's heavy on the fighting, which is pretty cool.
It's unique.
The fighting is, they said it was this could have been rated R. But what they did is just remove. Yeah, they said that in the publicity. They're the fighting cuts, they were so intense. We could have made this movie rated R. What? Had they added in any blows or impacts, right?
Yeah, I mentioned
There's literally no blood in this entire movie.
And they cut away from every major impact.
Right.
You'll see
a lot of sword fighting though.
There's a character who gets an arrow to the knee and no blood.
Yeah.
There's a character that there are a couple arrowed characters, and
blood.
It's off screen, or you don't see it, or it's So,
But this
definitely
is
pulled punches.
very kid friendly though. This is a very kid friendly movie.
So kid friendly, it's a little dumbed down. And it is dumbed down through the script primarily. This is my biggest problem. The screenplay is kind of terrible. They're how can we reach kids now, but also be culturally appropriate? Not appropriate, but appropriate.
Right.
And then let's have everyone talk like they're on TikTok right now. Because every character has a very millennial way of speaking. And I know there are movies that are already kind of dated.
Were they on your lawn in the movie?
Yeah, they were a little bit. But you watch a movie like Aladdin and the genie is giving pop culture references.
Yes.
But this is a movie that feels very cultural and just very in its world. And they're talking about modern conveniences or saying things like, I do it on the regular. It's a lot of, it's kind of tacky. It makes you cringe quite a bit. And so that is the biggest flaw here. And also, Raya is not a very good character. There's not much to her, and I think it's the absence of music that actually removes the I want part of this movie.
Yeah.
Because she just becomes another side character in her own movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So in my youngest, she was like, Dad, did you like it? I was like, that's okay. She's like, Dad. And my 11-year-old is like, it's another Disney movie.
Oh my
gosh. And I was like, I agree.
Your kids are so jaded.
But the problem is, this is the weakest of Disney's movies in a long time. Other than, Frozen 2, I may have to revisit, but it's worse than Frozen. It's what Moana is actually upped in my opinion based on this movie.
Moana's really good.
Moana's quite good.
What about Soul? Soul is their most recent.
Soul's
release.
Pixar,
but Disney.
Soul's better than this.
Okay.
I like the color scheme more in this, but in the animation maybe a little bit more. But other than that, it felt kind of hollow.
I'm going to disagree with your daughter.
Okay.
I don't think this is another Disney movie.
Yeah. By the way, she doesn't mean Tangled. Tangled is a masterpiece.
Tangled,
okay.
okay. No, I'm just saying.
Tangled.
This isn't another Disney movie. The whole time in my head, I said, DreamWorks presents Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. This is a DreamWorks movie, 100%.
Except for it looks better than a DreamWorks movie.
Does it?
It does.
Yeah, I guess, and it does. The animation,
And you're
is
mentioning
really
like the
good.
funny side characters.
The funny
fact
side
that
characters, the lack of
there's
music,
not much to a story.
the lack of heart, the lack of
Yeah.
what I mean. This honestly, this feels like a lesser How to Train Your Dragon ripoff, which is so it's almost like How to Train Your Dragon was an accidental Disney movie, and this is an
Yeah.
accidental DreamWorks movie.
It's true because those movies somehow have heart
They're
in the
amazing.
DreamWorks pantheon.
I love them.
Yeah.
But-
okay, so
So I
So give your review of half the movie, Zach.
I only saw the last half, but I don't like it at all.
At all.
I just didn't really connect with anything, and I don't know if it's because I didn't get the setup, but I feel like I met characters, right? Like we meet characters along the way, and it's kind of like the Muppets, where you just gain new characters in your journey, and we don't know anything about them. They're one dimensional characters, so I feel like I know enough, and I was really underwhelmed, and I will never watch the beginning.
Oh,
I didn't like it.
do you know what you
seems
missed at the
harsh.
beginning? No spoilers. Is a lot of story explanation of the
Yeah.
world as it's been.
So world building, I'll take, but I had nothing about it interested me enough to learn more about the world. No character I found interesting, like not a single character. And yeah, I actually really didn't like it
wow.
Worse than Frozen 2?
much. I think Frozen 2 is pretty good. I think it's
What'd you give
derivative.
it, by the way, Kent?
If I'm being nice, it's a B minus.
What?
Okay.
This movie,
That's a high grade for you.
it's probably a C plus in my heart of all hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a C plus. If I'm
Okay.
generous, a B minus.
Okay. Zach, and what'd you give it?
I'd give it like a 40%, 4 out of 10. Like I really didn't like it.
Okay.
All right,
How
Joel.
about you, Joel? Review.
I liked it.
Yeah,
Like we were all sitting in the same room together. You guys heard my comments I made
Right.
periodically, like
Yeah.
at the
you
beginning.
did a few face palms.
I
you
did
couldn't really
because
hide.
there are definitely some face
You
palm
picked
moments.
apart the plot holes or the logic or stuff,
Right.
Which is rampant in every animated movie.
But I will say, visually, I was highly entertained. Like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah,
I
it is.
love the color scheme. I thought the animation was fantastic. Like, just it was a visual treat to watch this
was,
movie.
yeah.
Because the whole time I was like, I like this. I like the way they made this character look, or I like the way the color scheme goes here, or I like the shot that they did here. And so I was really enjoying that. So I was having a hard time disliking it, honestly.
Sure.
And I feel like this is this was made for kids. This was not one where this is not where they said, well, let's make some stuff for the adults too. I think this was geared towards kids. The way they speak, the way certain characters act, the way certain characters even look, I think is just like the ages of certain
The fart
characters.
jokes, too.
There are, yes.
so
in the
you don't
movie.
think that this is like the made for the adults too?
No, because what I feel like is this is a movie that if you haven't already seen this story a dozen times before, this is fun. This is new. This is great.
Yeah, I get that.
But the fact that we have seen so many movies before where we can predict, oh, this character is going to do this, or, oh, they keep saying this thing over and over again, that means it's going to come back up in the end.
Right.
And because of that, I feel like, I mean, it got really predictable. And the story was...
Well, you know the tropes of these movies, whereas kids who this is marketed towards may not.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Right?
And so I think
Yeah.
I think my kids will love this.
Yeah.
I really do. I think they'll want to watch it again and again. And I'll gladly let them watch this over even Soul. I was like,
It's a little bit slower, right?
A little bit.
So I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
and the message, it wasn't even that clear on this one. Where this one, it's a little more clear, but kind of weird. This was It's a Small World of Disney movies. And they have a couple of these where it's like, you sit down, it's a pleasant ride, no big twists or tunes. You're not going overly fast. It's not overly exciting, but it's kind of like, well, this is fun. I like this. This is pleasant. So
You didn't feel like it was derivative of several other Disney movies
totally
and or properties?
Oh yeah, this is Mulan. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's Indiana Jones.
This is Indiana Jones. This is all those types of movies. Mad Max Fury Road, sure.
Somehow.
But I felt like as I was watching it, though, I was like, you know what? If I didn't have the basis of all these other movies and could pinpoint exactly where
Yeah,
it was
that's a
going,
good point, actually.
I think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
because it is that it's a very traditional story.
So I'm wondering, and maybe it just doesn't fit here, but like Disney makes their original soundtracks fit. If this
Yeah.
was marketed for kids, why is there no music? Because the exposition could have been done not 4 times, because we got the history of the world in Dragons 4 times.
they have like a bunch of exposition at the
Why
beginning.
couldn't we have got a grand song telling us the
like
story?
It's literally like the first 20 minutes is like, we're starting here. I'm going to flash back and tell a story. I'm going to flash a little more back and tell a story. Then I'm
Fast
flashing
forwarding-
a
fast
little
forward, yeah,
forward.
6
and I'm
years,
telling
yeah.
a story. Like we're not. I turned to Ken at one point. I'm like, when does the movie start?
Yeah.
because it just kind of.
But I get what you're saying. Like it's a pleasant experience for kids.
Yeah, and I think-
would you stay in the room and watch it with them?
Probably because I like the look of it.
Okay.
And so, and I'm going to disagree with you a little bit because while while Arya is not a great character,
There we go.
I do feel like she is a protagonist. Just kind of that stock protagonist character that has a mission they want to do.
Proactive.
Yeah. And that's kind of thing. It's like that she's going to do exactly what a protagonist is meant to do in the story, which is progress the story.
Like the protagonist in Tenet.
Yes.
Okay.
That kind of thing where it's kind of this character. But I do think the way they made her look, it's very much, Korra from Avatar: The Last Airbender at one part. And I just kind of went, okay, I have to get over that.
It's funny how she wasn't really a strong character unless she put on like the hat.
She looked
And
cool.
then all of a sudden it was like
She
the
looked
money
so
shot.
cool.
It was like,
it was cool looking.
and then it's cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that stuff I like. So I'm actually going to give this a positive score. I'm giving it a 3.5
Okay.
Out of 5 because I feel like it really did keep my interest. And while I did get bugged at little bits, I wasn't bugged overall. This is not an offensive or bad movie. I would say this is a...
But as far as like humor goes, since it's for kids, was it funny enough?
Well, it depends if
Or was just so much happening on screen at one point that their attention will be kept?
I don't know if maybe there's some in the beginning. I didn't laugh once.
The baby was the funny part.
Well, hold on. Let's get into the spoiler part for that. And the one thing I want to do before we jump into spoilers here is just ask you guys. Obviously, I think I know your answers, but is this worth paying the premium price for on Disney Plus to watch it now versus waiting a couple months when it's going to be free?
Free.
I would also vote wait till it's free.
Yeah, it's inevitable that it will be. It's like a DVD release, but like you've already paid for your DVD.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wait.
Because
It's probably worth the one time watch, but especially for like a families with like 8-year-olds.
It's the hype behind this movie is insane.
Is it?
It's like
Is
critics have not seen a movie in years.
I haven't
Which it
heard
feels
a
like they
single
have.
thing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
yeah,
Nobody's talking
people are
about
going
it in my
crazy
circle.
for it. I'm like, you saw the same movie? It's fine.
well, and I feel like if you want to have like a fun family night and you get a group together and you're splitting the cost, go for it.
Sure.
This isn't one you're going to regret. But I'm like, there's no rush because there's no real big spoiler here because like I said, the plot is very predictable. You know exactly where it's going to go. And here you can let your kids watch everything else on Disney Plus for a couple months and then watch this for free. And I think that's fine.
Yeah, no rush on this one.
So
Okay. Ready for spoilers?
yeah,
5, 6, 7, 8.
that wasn't a song.
You sing the songs, Joel.
Raya, the last dragon, we're gonna spoil it. Raya,
Spoiler,
Raya,
the last dragon.
Raya, the last dragon. Spoilers.
Okay. Spoiler time. All right. Zach, do you have any questions about the story that you missed at all?
No, because I don't care.
Oh, I feel bad because I feel like Zach coming in halfway kind of ruined the movie for him.
It didn't. I think it's weakest at the beginning and only catches traction near the end.
I hated the baby. None of the characters are likable.
You should clarify the baby. We need to tell this. So
There's a ninja baby that's like a penguin from Madagascar,
which was in the trailer.
Yes.
And so you have this little baby,
And it's the best gag of the movie,
pickpocket.
even though it's not that good.
not funny.
It's the best gag in the movie that they use repeatedly.
Yes.
And there's a whole question of like, one of my pet peeves, like I said, is when I can tell that an adult is doing the baby voice. And they did that multiple times where I'm like, stop.
I think the best parts of the movie were the medium changes when all of a sudden it would go to comic book paneling, for example.
Yeah. Again, back to the art.
You know, like they would be planning a heist and they'd be explaining it. And yeah, the art styles really worked.
as the heist got more ridiculous, the art devolved into more of a comic book. Like that was like, oh, it was so cool.
But there was such a problem because at the beginning, one thing you missed is there was a slightly different art style at the beginning
When
she gives the history
dragons.
of the world. And it's so weird. It takes so much time to get there and actually tells the whole plot of the movie in the first 3 minutes. The entire movie. Because they just have to redo history.
Yeah, there's this whole thing.
But with no explanation as to why the dragons need to live.
There's this running theme throughout the show of like, you got to trust people.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the movie is you got to trust others. You got to have faith in people. But then the movie multiple times lets you trust someone and then you get stabbed in the back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't understand what you're saying here. Are we trying to teach children to trust anybody? Because that's not going to be safe.
I think it was like, hey, we all need to die together to save the world. Because that's really the only way that stopped it and bringing dragons back.
I think the crystal would have worked anyway had they just put it together.
Yeah, the Black Cherry Shasta, which was
Well, pull it back. Remember, people have not seen this movie. So
Or they have because they're listening to the spoiler section.
But maybe not. Maybe they don't care until they're just going to listen to the spoiler
the
part.
Droon
The
is
Droon are
a
these purple Shasta
cosmic force that turns you to stone.
It's smoke, not Shasta.
And that's what I was
come
gonna say.
on.
There is no death in this movie.
No.
Because everyone either gets turned to stone or they're going to get hit by bugs.
And that's, it makes sense you say this for kids, because from the very get-go,
Medusa clouds.
there's no stakes here. Even the dragon is like, it'll be fine. Your dad will be fine, because Raya's dad turns to stone at the beginning, even though he didn't have to.
Daniel
But-
Kim.
Yeah, and she says
What a waste.
she says everyone will be fine, and you're like, yeah, I know that. Actually, I know that because A, it's a Disney movie. B, you just told me.
But like I said, it's a kids movie. They are reassuring the children at that point of like, it's going to be okay.
Kids also aren't so like simple that they need to be scared for the characters.
Exactly. Back in the day, we didn't know if characters were going to be okay or not.
Right.
I feel like now they're like, oh, we can't scare children. Let's make sure they know everything's going to be okay. So the dragon, I think, turns to the camera, is like, it'll be fine.
Back in my day, cartoon characters died.
R.I.P. Optimus Prime.
That's right.
Back in your day, it was
That's
like
way before my time.
5 years ago, Zach.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, once again,
Mufasa,
it felt
Mufasa.
like a Wes Anderson movie where it's like time jumping so much. It took 20 minutes to actually get to the present day where she's like, "This is my story."
You're probably wondering how I got here.
No, she goes, you probably see me and think I'm a lone wanderer. And I'm like,
geez.
oh, nope, I didn't even think anything like that.
Yeah. Which I'll say Kelly Marie Tran.
She does a good job.
Didn't bother me at all. Like,
I think it's to her
Rose-
favor that I don't know who she is very much.
Rose Tico was grating as a character, and then
Yeah.
everyone propping her up as like the best character in the series made her even more grating. This, I was like, oh, she did good. I liked her in this.
Yeah, she did very well.
And then the bug, the big pill bug, Tuk Tuk, was one of those characters. He's an Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like he's just there to be transportation and
Yes.
occasional comic
And
relief.
lovable.
Yeah. But the thing is, he would come and go as the script pleased. Like there's a part when Raya and she goes inside a cave and then like encounters the dragon and everything, and the bad guys come in, and then she goes out and gets on Tuk Tuk, and I'm like, where was Tuk Tuk when the bad guys were coming in?
Rolled away.
And then there's a part where everyone's getting turned to stone, and Tuk Tuk's not there. And then when everyone's okay, Tuk Tuk comes back, and it's like, where was Tuk Tuk?
Yeah.
Tucked away till the plot needed him.
Ah. So
This is one of those unconventional family stories where it's like, hey, we need to unite, and so we have someone from every nation.
Just watch the Muppets.
Yeah, we have.
no, they really like they go through and Raya acquires like 4 or 5 stock characters, one-dimensional characters that have no growth,
Similar to herself.
no
Sure.
depth. Yeah, and it's kind of thing where like they all kind of get together, and it's like, and I was like, why are they bringing along these people? They bring nothing to the story. And then at the end, I had the light bulb go, oh, they're all from the different kingdoms, which we mentioned is Spine, Fang,
Tail, heart.
Just watch The Fifth Element.
It really, that did feel
Or
like
Frozen 2,
That felt
which
like
is exactly
Avatar.
that.
That felt like Avatar. And then they have everyone's coming together. Like, we should be in charge of land. We should be in charge of land. I'm like, this feels like Black Panther.
Yeah.
This is totally Wakanda.
Just watch Black Panther.
And it for me, it removes something Disney does so well, which is villainy.
There is no real villain.
No, and I think that's on purpose. I think people are so...
No, the villain is circumstance and this Shasta smoke and yeah, it's not like a person.
Guys, maybe it's the villains we met along the way.
And that's what they're saying. It's the purple smoke is human greed and intolerance. And if dragons live again, then it will be gone.
Just watch Lost.
About as well as
But they
explained.
do, like, the thing is, they have this character, Raya, and then her friend, what is her friend's name?
Could you remember? Is it that memorable?
Namari. I looked it up. Namari.
Yeah.
So she's that warrior princess from Fangland. Which that's here.
That's the new Disney theme park.
Fangland. But so they become friends as kids, and then not friends, I should say. They meet at this party, this get together of all the different kingdoms, and then they become friends enough that Ray's like, oh, let me show you where the dragon.
They play a 20-second game of Would You Rather, basically.
Yeah,
Like, that's dope.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
And
savage.
Then they go find the crystal, the dragon crystal, and then the girl betrays her new friend betrays her and shoots off a flare saying, this is where the emerald is, or this is where the stone is, and everyone comes, finds it, and breaks it.
Yeah.
And then the bad Black Shasta comes back and starts turning people to stone again. And I just, as I was watching it, like I said, I kept being like, well, okay, then what's the point of this story here? And there wasn't really a point.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, I shouldn't say that. The whole point was trust others. But like I said, every time they trusted someone, every time they tried, they got stabbed in the back. So what's the message?
There is no message.
But there should be.
I think it's missing. I totally agree with you saying it's for kids, but I feel like it's missing not the humor for adults, but the depth for adults.
Yeah.
Like, or kids when they I like this movie so much when I was younger, let's watch it again. They won't care about it at all.
I think they will, because I think they'll laugh at Aquafina. Like, I think her comedic...
I thought she was grating.
But that's not your style of humor.
I think
you
that she's great
You don't like
in
TikTok
general.
humor.
Yeah.
This is TikTok humor.
She's fine.
That's true. That's a really bad review of it, though.
No, but
if
it's
it's
not.
TikTok humor.
Because here's the thing.
It's like momentary, real quick.
I didn't laugh, but I did smile at like when she was on the screen. And it's because just the way they animated her and like her crazy hair.
She looks real
Because
good.
she shapeshifts from a dragon to a person and, for some reason.
Save on budget.
I'm guessing. Because I really, at one point, I'm like, oh, she's going to be a human this whole time. But then like 2 or 3 encounters down the road, all of a sudden she's like,
And
I'm a
everyone's
dragon.
like, she was a dragon? How could you keep this secret?
Yeah.
Oh, does it matter?
It wasn't really that.
It wasn't a grand reveal.
No. But I don't know. I can't hate it. I liked it.
It's not hateable.
No.
I think it's above average.
Yeah, I would say above average is
I'd
fair.
say, the animation itself is what stuck out to me. And the voice acting is very good as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There was something I was going to say to you guys, and I was like, no, I need to save it for the show as we were watching it, and I saved it.
Did it have anything to do with Avatar?
No.
Being the different nations coming together?
It was the ending. It was something to do with the ending when the dragon gets shot with an arrow and then dies, and then all the water drains up.
Oh, yeah. You were going to bring up a point, but now I don't remember.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah.
But just know that
They're boring dragons as well.
they don't do much.
Yeah. Like, they're just there to be like flying in the sky and everything's good. Here's some rain.
I'm trying to figure out how if the dragons have the energy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. If the dragons have the energy, the dragons all. I have to back up here.
Sure.
The dragons all put their powers into a crystal, and then that crystal makes all the what do they call them? Darun disappear. All these black Shasta creatures disappear. Well, if they have that power in them, how could the Droon turn them into stone if they have basically that power inside them that fuels the crystal?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. It's not explained. It doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm poking holes. I feel like a jerk right now.
Yeah, you're not a jerk. And also, very important, what you missed in the story is the reason the nations were mad and wanted this gem, this dragon gem. Zack really doesn't care. Is because there's only the one dragon gem because dragons are now off of the planet, and only the country that has the gem thrives. And so everyone else is like, hey, we're barren over here, so at least let us borrow the gem or have it. And so that's the reason why the nations are all against each other, because there's that division. And they can only be brought together by the presence of dragons. So I guess the point of the movie was we need to unite to bring dragons back so we can all be friends again. Yes.
Just watch How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
By the way,
I
I was looking here at Wikipedia, the source of knowledge and truth, and it says it's released in the United States and Canada and is projected to gross around 6 to 7 million in its opening weekend.
Isn't that so weird?
It is so weird to read that, and
This would be a $70 million movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This would have been a big release in theaters, I think.
Yeah.
Had it not been during tail end of a pandemic.
Oh man, this is the third in a row of kind of rough releases, in my opinion.
Like that won't save the movie industry?
No, Walt Disney Animation. So you figure this one, the previous release was Frozen 2, which made a ton of money.
A ton.
And then Ralph Breaks the Internet, which made a decent amount of money, but I hated. And then Moana and Zootopia and Big Hero 6 and better movies. But fingers crossed for Encanto, the Colombian-based movie that's coming up next.
I still want to see Gigantic if they ever make that one.
Never will.
Jack and the Beanstalk, they never will.
Nope.
So there you go. There's our review of Raya.
Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
Ryan.
If you've seen it, let us know how you feel about it. And
I assume most people will love this movie because it's new and shiny.
it is. And shiny it is, because
Shiny.
it is so much fun to look at. And I think, honestly, you sit back, just relax, you'll enjoy it.
Turn off that brain.
mofo low down around this time.
Showing up.
Well, who am I?
Showing up.
Who am